Hey guys, welcome back to Happy Hour. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I've had to deal with a lot in my life, and so I figured I would come on here and give you some advice on how I handle it and also how you can handle it if you struggle with the same thing. So today's topic of discussion is positive ways that you can deal with negative or unwanted opinions, because the truth of the matter is everyone has an opinion, everyone has a thought on what you're doing, what you're not doing, how you're living, and all of those things. So a lot of that comes with pretty heavy criticism. And when you do what I do on a daily basis and you put yourself out on the internet, it comes even heavier. But a lot of the times, for most people, myself included, it comes from people in your family, your friends, people who are close to you, who think you want their opinions, but you really don't. And I say opinions, and what I mean by that is people who are criticizing you but not offering anything constructive and not offering any kind of guidance or help or anything like that. So constructive criticism often comes with some kind of advice. Opinions and negative opinions and unwanted opinions aren't really useful for anybody. So today I'm going to help you kind of navigate that and give you some tips on how you can handle that in a positive way. So the first one is to change the topic. And can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're new at it. But one of the things that I do when I find that somebody's giving me an opinion I didn't ask for, or they're being very negative, I just change the conversation to be about something about them. Because the truth is, people love to talk about themselves and people love to open up about their own lives. So if you find that somebody is being particularly negative, or they're talking about things that you don't really feel comfortable discussing with them, switch the conversation to them and ask them about something going on in their life, because chances are they will get on that subject and it won't come back to whatever they were talking about before. So if you're trying to navigate those unwanted and negative opinions, try to reverse the conversation if you can and see if you can ask them about something going on in their life. Don't give a negative opinion about their life, but just show interest in them. And then maybe by doing that and showing how you're listening and being a good listener and not being negative about anything, they will learn from that. And maybe in the future they will lead by your example in that. But best case scenario, they just drop it and they don't revisit it in the future. So the second thing is that my second tip is to not feel the need to explain everything. I used to be the kind of person who would get super defensive anytime somebody had a negative opinion about anything I was doing. I got super defensive and felt the need to explain everything, but the truth is, you don't have to. You don't owe anybody an explanation for anything, really, and it's your life and you can do what you feel is best in any situation, and it's not up to anybody else to judge you for that or criticize you for that, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones living it, you are, so it's ultimately up to you, and you can't sit around trying to explain everything to everybody, because if you do, you'll never get anything done. So my third tip is very similar to the second, and that is to own your journey. So what I mean by that is when people are giving you negative opinions, just own your decisions. Be confident in what you're doing and how you're living, and people will more likely back off and not be as critical because they know that they're not going to change your mind. So show confidence in what you're doing and who you are, and people are less likely to come at you with those negative opinions that you don't want. So just be confident. Don't feel the need to explain everything. If you want to explain something, then by all means go ahead. But you shouldn't feel the need that you have to explain yourself to every single person who comes along, because chances are if they're giving you a negative opinion, they don't understand it anyway. So it's better that you just drop it and be confident in it and know that those people's opinions don't necessarily matter. So the fourth tip that I have is to don't take things personally. Because the truth is, most of the time, if you're getting a negative opinion from somebody, it's because you are doing something that they wish that they could do, or that they feel insecure about and feel as though they can't do it. So when it comes to those unwanted or negative opinions, it's important to know that nobody doing more than you will judge you, because anybody who's doing more than you knows that they started at some point and they struggled at some point. So most of the time, any judgment that you're getting is from somebody who wishes that they could be where you are. So don't take it personally. Know that they're probably speaking from a place of insecurity, and that they're just dealing with something on their own and they're taking it out on you. And there's nothing worse than somebody taking their insecurities out on somebody else, but it happens, and it shouldn't deter you from what you're doing just because somebody else is unhappy or somebody else is insecure. So just don't take it personally. Just remember that everybody has their own thoughts and opinions on things, and they don't necessarily have to match up, and not everyone has to agree with what you're doing. Not everybody has to approve of what you're doing for you to do it, because if that were the case, nobody would ever do anything. And so my fifth and final tip, and this is a really good way to shut most people up when they're giving you a negative or unwanted opinion, and that is to ask them for advice. Because when you are talking about doing something, or you're working on doing something, and somebody has a negative opinion and they're saying that maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe it's a bad idea, whatever they're saying, stop them and ask them for advice. And if they can't give you advice, then their opinion is just an opinion, and they don't actually have there's no evidence or anything backing them up. They're just being negative. And if they're just being negative, then there's absolutely no reason to listen to them, because they don't have a foothold in whatever you're trying to do. So when it comes to negative or unwanted opinions, always ask the person for advice. Ask them what they think. And if they can't give you a solid answer, then probably not a good idea to listen to them. And even if they can give you advice, you don't have to take it. But asking for advice usually throws people off guard, and they get a little bit shaken up by that, and they back off. So if you're getting some negative or unwanted opinions, ask them for advice, and usually they'll back off. But those are the 5 positive ways that you can deal with negative or unwanted opinions. At least those are the 5 that I could come up with. If you have other ones, then leave them in the comments. We could all stand to learn a few things about this topic, because I'm sure it's something that we all go through. But those are the 5 ways that I deal with negative and unwanted opinions. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it, and that you are able to more positively deal with those people in your life that often give their negative and unwanted opinions. Because sometimes it's not as easy as walking away, although that's usually the best option. But if you can't walk away, then try any of these 5 things and see which ones work for you, if any of them work for you. If not, there are plenty of other ones. I'm sure the internet is full of positive ways, so go check some of those out. But if you have any suggestions, please leave those in the comments so that we can all learn something. But thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. Also subscribe and hit that post notifications bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I will see you in the next video.